Watch Dogs was announced at E3 2012. 2 years and several delays later, we finally got the game. The announcement trailer looks absolutely stunning and really made it look like the must-have next-gen game. But in the time between the announcement and its release, some additional footage came out which did not look as good as the E3 footage. Normally this wouldn't cause that big of an outcry because Ubisoft is known for their bullshots. But this footage compared so poorly to the E3 footage that some people are already calling it a blunder. Now the game is out and unfortunately I feel like it does not live up to its expectations. Now, let me start off with saying that the visuals weren't that interesting for me. My rig has an ATI 5870, i7 920 and 8 gigs of RAM. While not bad, I did not expect to be able to run this game very well on the higher settings. But I'm not going to touch on the visuals. The biggest problem is this. Whenever I'm playing this game, I cannot help but think that it could have been so much more. It's just so disappointing. Why? I'm gonna split this up in 2 sections. The world and the gameplay. Don't get me wrong, Watch Dogs is not a bad game. But it's not especially good either. I did enjoy the story and the multiplayer can be fun at times. Watch Dogs is set in a near future Chicago. It has become a so-called smart city running on CTOS. CTOS connects all sorts of facilities in the city, such as traffic lights, water and electricity, and public transport. The player can exploit this and use it to its advantage, but I'll touch on that further in the gameplay segment. As you unlock areas, you can unlock small side activities such as Intrude, where you can look into people's homes and see what they are doing. And some of these are really well executed and make the world feel more human. But unfortunately, there is much in the world that makes it feel static. Some of the AI is pathetic. Pedestrians tend to jump in front of your car, or when you're driving around normally, the pedestrians on the sidewalk sometimes just jump to the side as if you're almost hitting them. At one point I saw a fire truck and I thought it might be fun to follow it. After 3 or 4 minutes following it around, it stopped and then this message popped up. I mean, come on, what the hell? You can program a fire truck driving around, but to put in the effort to have it go to an actual fire was too much? That's just lazy. When you drive, you can go into first-person perspective with cars, which is cool. But when you look at the dashboard, it's just a 2D texture. It doesn't show how fast you are going and the texture quality is fairly poor. It's things like this that make the game just feel half-arsed. On top of that, you never see any cops patrolling. I can't help but wonder why they didn't put that in. Cops only come out after they've been dispatched, but even then, they only appear in the area where they lost you. If you drive 2 or 3 blocks further, there won't be any. It's so odd and it makes the world feel so empty. Then there's the random crimes that can take place, which at first is pretty cool. By using your phone, or just at random, you can find where a crime can take place, which you can prevent. But one of the points of CTOS is that there should be less crime, yet I see it everywhere. It just makes so little sense, especially since your phone is linked to CTOS, which does the crime detection, but no, the cops can only come out for you. It makes no bloody sense, and it just doesn't make the world very believable. The physics in this game are so poorly done. Hitting objects such as an electricity pole just makes them collapse into smaller chopped up logs. Hitting one part of a basketball court destroys half the fence. The list goes on and on. It's like they first wanted to make a realistic world, but then realized that it was too much effort. So they just gave up on the idea. The gameplay is a bit of a mixed bag for me. The shooting's fine, it's what you'd expect from an open world third-person game. You can go into cover, use explosives and various things you can hack to your advantage. The gunplay is solid, there's not a lot to comment on it. I really dislike the driving and found it annoying to drive with a keyboard, so I started playing with a controller. It feels very arcadey and isn't what you would expect it to be. There's a level up system, you get experience from side activities, stopping crimes and killing hostiles. When you level up you get skill points, which you can use to unlock abilities. It's very standard, and if you've played Far Cry 3 then you know exactly what to expect. The minigames are a nice touch, and the spider tank has to be by far the most fun I've had with the game. I mean, just look at this. Unfortunately, the game suffers from the standard Ubisoft formula. I think they've been doing this shit since Assassin's Creed. You have an open world, but some of the parts of the map need a form of unlocking to discover activities. For those who don't know, the typical Ubisoft formula goes as follows. In order to do everything, you have to go to a certain place, climb it, then press a button to discover the area. In Watch Dogs, they've added one extra step. First you have to go into an area, where you'll probably end up killing all the guys, and then hack it. Then you see the map and you can see where you need to climb up to. And when you've climbed to where you need to be, you press a button to discover the side activities. When you finally unlock these side activities, some of them just make you feel like you're an errand boy. For example, most of the intrusions just have you walk to a door box to find out it's locked. So you follow a line until you've found one or multiple boxes you have to hack by just holding the hack button, and then walk all the way back. It gets boring really quickly, and you just hope that you get rewarded with something interesting. Sometimes you have to do the hack through a minigame, which is just a simple puzzle where the blue lines must reach the end. But it's better than pressing a button, I guess? When a potential crime gets discovered, you'll get a circle on your map with a triangle in the middle. You'd think the person would be somewhere in that area, right? Well, guess what? He's exactly where the triangle is, so you don't even get to search for them. I mean, what? Come on. Just let me play. And even then, chasing after the person can get boring, as you're just holding the run button and hoping he'll walk by something hackable. At least some of the hacks are pretty cool. When you are in a vehicle and being chased or chasing someone, the game gives you prompts when you are able to hack something and take them out. And sometimes it goes into slow motion to show it. The hacks are very limited though. I think they showed almost, if not all of them in the promotional videos, so there's nothing new waiting for you there, which is disappointing. And that's really what the game is, disappointing. It feels half-arsed, which leads to it being disappointing. The game will still sell well due to all the marketing force behind it. Personally, I don't feel compelled to play the game for very long amounts during a session, and when I play it, it just feels like everything could have been better executed. It lacks the fun factor, and it's okay to look at games from other developers. Look at what the GTA games have done in the past. These are great open world titles. In GTA 4, cops are sometimes in pursuit or arresting someone. If someone gets hurt, an ambulance comes to try to help them. It's not like Ubisoft has no experience in open world games. They've made plenty of them. I just really hope they get their shit together and put care into crafting their future games.